Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I am at the viewpoint on Lucky Peak Reservoir. I don't think I've flown out here for, I don't know, several months, maybe even 6 months or so, so it's been a while. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm a little shocked at how low the reservoir is. I know they start draining it down in the fall, but boy, it's down there more than I thought it would be at this time of year. So hopefully we get some good snowpack this coming year. That aside, what are we here for? I've got the Fimi X8SE 2022 version. I'm pretty excited about this drone. I've got to be honest with you, I had a little trepidation when I first ordered this guy. I've got the 2018 and the 2020 versions of it. The 2018 version I liked for its time. It was a good drone. I think I paid about $350 for it back then. It was a great value, you know, very powerful, full-featured product. And, you know, the camera wasn't the greatest, but it was okay. Then the 2020 version came out. To me, it was almost a step backwards. There were a few problems with it. I didn't really care for the camera. It had tilted horizon issue. Didn't like the colors on the camera. So when the 2022 version came out, I wasn't too anxious to order one. However, I'm glad that I finally did. They've got that, it's got the Sony half-inch sensor on here, and the color science is vastly improved from the earlier versions, and it is a good flying, powerful, full-featured product. No obstacle avoidance, but other than that, it's got all the things that, a lot of the things that people like. It's got tracking, waypoints, intelligent flight modes, digital zoom, a lot of the things that a lot of folks are looking for in a drone. And almost more importantly is the price point. This guy is $439 on Banggood. Now, you may not see this video for weeks or even months after I do this flight. I'm kind of at the end of the good weather here this fall. It's mid-October now, and the weather's going to start turning colder. So I wanted to get out and do a bunch of flights. So that's what I'm doing. So again, you may not see this. In fact, it might be a good reminder of what the good weather is, and we'll show the video in the middle of winter or something, and remember what it was like when it wasn't so cold outside. But enough of that. Let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. I'm going to move the camera around here so you can see it. You can see where my landing pad is there, and you can kind of see a little bit of the reservoir. Again, let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. Okay, we've got the Fimi Navi 2020 app fired up here, and yeah, it is telling us that it's still looking for satellites. I found that this can be a challenging satellite area, particularly for, I've experienced in the past with the Fimi drones, they struggle to find satellites here. So we'll give it a few minutes here. It's got 9 satellites right now. So we'll give it a few minutes and then we'll take off. While we're doing that, let's quickly look through the safety menu here. And yeah, we have return to home height set at 30 meters. I'm going to move that up because if we got behind some terrain here, we would wish that we had it higher. I typically set it at about 100 meters here, just simply because there is terrain here that you could potentially get behind, lose signal, and you'd for sure want that drone to come back to you. So yeah, we're almost there. Let's see if I can, I went just a little bit above, but we're going to call that good. Let's see. I see nothing here. Precision landing we've got checked. It's not asking for any kind of calibrations. We should be good to go. We got 10 satellites, so it's saying that it's ready to go with GPS with 10 satellites, and hopefully we'll pick up some more after we take off here. Let's go ahead and look at our camera menu here, and we're on 4K 30 frames per second. I'm just trying to think. I'm going to click the video quality up to high, and yeah, that may be affected. In other words, if we do some of the intelligent flight stuff, it may kick it back down to medium. but white balance on audio, everything else just as you see it here. Let's change the codec to H.265, a little more efficient, and heck, start recording. Maybe, yeah, there it goes. Started recording. Let's do an auto takeoff on the app. Holding that button down, auto takeoff, and it'll kick the props. You saw it, yeah, excessive vibration, so it shut it down. And that's because I didn't have those props spread out, and it stopped recording. So let's start recording again. And let's try that one more time, and it'll take off this time. Kicks those props a couple times. And it'll go up to 4 meters high. And you guys are getting a good look at the reservoir here. We'll give it a second to look at its landing spot for that precision landing, and then let's bring it back down here so we can get it in front of the camera. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. This drone, you know, it's not quite as stable as the equivalent DJI product or Autel product, but look, it's pretty good. I'm pretty comfortable bringing it in here, but you see it moving around there a little. We bring it back over. That's me moving it over. And so yeah, that's about it. Let's quit messing around. Let me drop that camera down and we'll do our droney. And again, we're in normal mode, so reverse and up now, reverse and up. And you know, I cross-coupled a little bit there on takeoff, but you guys will get a good look at what. I just think this is such a spectacular view to be out here on this little peninsula, and you know, over the top of the lake. It just is pretty darn cool. So we're going to start out here. We're going to go to the drone's left, and so it'll be shooting into the sun a little bit, but there you can see the dam. We're not going to go anywhere near the dam. We're going to stay well away from it. But let's fly it out. Let's fly it around here and give you a look. And again, you know, we're just in standard mode, and the drone is flying at all of 16 meters per second, which is top speed in standard mode. So we'll try it in sport mode here in a little bit, and when we go down the reservoir a little bit. But take a look there. You can see how the boat ramp is high and dry. So when those guys are dropping their boats in, they're having to come, you know, right down here. Let me drop the camera down a little bit so you can see that. They're having to come down there, and it looks like they put a little segment. Yeah, so a little segment of the dock is down there. But often in the middle of the winter, they just have to drop them right in the water from there. But yeah, and I'm trying to remember what that gulch in front of us there is called, directly in front of us, and I can't remember right offhand. But yeah, let's take a look. Let's go down the reservoir here a little ways. So 16 satellites now, so that's pretty good. And as we do that, I'm going to go by, and I notice my FPV signal is in the orange on my meter, but really we're not seeing any effect of that on the with the FPV that I'm seeing on my phone. It's coming in perfectly clear. So I'm kind of bringing it back towards us, and let's just go up the little finger here a little bit here. And there's that drone. This is not a quiet drone. I mean, it makes plenty of noise. And it's moving right along here. How fast? Yeah, we're full 16 meters per second. And you know, when the reservoir is full of water, you know, you'll see these little picnic sites up here. People can hitch their boats up to them, but they're definitely high and dry now. And I'm turning to face towards the drone. Highway 21 there off on the left-hand side of the screen. And let's kind of, whoops, I'm kind of did it kind of a quick yaw there. I'm sorry, but wanted to point out that's one of those little picnic areas right there where those trees are. And you can see that dock is high and dry, so you can tell how much water has gone out of the reservoir here. I didn't expect, I knew that they would have drained down a fair amount of water, but I didn't expect it to be this much. Now, and so they must be expecting a fair amount of rain this winter. That's the only thing I can say, or snowpack. And typically, if you come down here in January, say, oh, this thing is empty. I mean, it is, you know, this is off-stream storage, and you know, it's our economy here is quite a bit of it. Oh, and I want to point out to you, there, laying high and dry there is a swimming dock. That is floating on top of the water when it's full, and people can hitch onto that and they can swim off of that and so forth. So what the heck, let's take a shortcut out across the top of this little peninsula here, and we'll go back to the main part of the reservoir. I'm telling you, this is a sporty drone, and you know, I'm getting, even though my the meter is kind of in orange on my screen, you wouldn't know it by looking at FPV. And you can see how high this is. How high? Well, 36 meters high, and you could tell the terrain came up to meet us there. So here we are back over the reservoir. Heck, let's go straight out to this. I think this place is really cool here. So if you had a boat in the summertime, man, you could set up and you could go out and camp at one of these locations. And some of them, I can't remember if this one does or not, some of them even have restrooms. So let's go ahead and fly across to this guy. GPS, 16 satellites. Now, I found that this area right here, yeah, look at, we're losing satellites. So we're down to 15 there, yeah, and 14 there for a second. 12, yeah, and we'll get a satellite warning. I've seen that in the past with Fimi drones here. Yeah, and the only thing I can say is, so we're gonna, well, we'll ease off here a little bit, but yeah, max distance now, 1,000 meters. Now that's not right. We should be able to go further than that. So let's go ahead and turn back towards the reservoir here. And I'm going to pull out, I'm going to go into the settings menu, and let's take a look at that. Yeah, 1,000 meters. So let's go ahead and click on that. I'll be darned. Let's go ahead and crank that up. Click the check mark. Okay, there we go. Sorry I missed that earlier. Must have been, I did a firmware update. So now we're past that. And we can keep going down to 61% battery. Let's be cognizant of that. I'm going to go back into the menu, and let's see here. I'm looking for the speed modes here. Oh, there it is. So it's weird. These are marked wrong in the app. So I'm going to click on smooth mode, and that's going to put us in sport mode. I just found that out by experience, and there it's giving us turn on sport mode. Even though it says smooth mode right there. And let's see how fast we can get this guy going. And we got plenty of satellites again here. So yeah, it's yeah, 17 meters per second. In my experience, this drone typically can get up to 18, or I've even seen it over 18 meters per second. So it's a fast, powerful drone, and it's pitching forward pretty hard to do that right now. 17.5 meters per second. We'll turn around, and when we come back, and we'll see what it does then. But this gives us a great view. 55% battery. We're in good shape here. And I'm just looking, we have been recording for 9 minutes, and of course we had that one false start, so that'll kind of give you an idea of flight time. And also I want you to note that I've been very, very heavy on the stick here, so remember that. Let's move around here and let's take a look at some of these other areas here. And these are all, you know, they're little docks, they're little picnic areas. And you can see the docks, the forlorn little docks that are high and dry there. So, yeah, dang it. But, you know, in the summertime, if you're out here on a boat, man, how cool is that? You get out here, you have a nice shaded area, you can tie your boat up, you can have a picnic, and I'm quite sure they even allow you to camp here. And I know some of these even have restrooms. And I don't know, I can't tell if that's what I'm seeing down there right now or just a shelter, but yeah, pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty cool. And this is all Army Corps of Engineers is who manages this, so pretty cool. Yeah, no, it didn't. It's not. We lost some satellites there, and we are having signal issues. So let's see if it'll go into. Yeah, there we got it back now, and yeah, we got them all back now, and we were out there a ways, so I'm saying I'm pretty happy with the control range on this guy. Let's head across the other side. And like I said, I want to mention that I have noticed in the past, in particular, I don't have these problems when I'm flying DJI drones out here, but I have seen with Fimi drones that they evidently they just don't capture as many satellites. And I didn't look at our speed there, but let's bring this guy back to us, and let's see what it'll. Yeah, unable to enter GPS. It was in ADI mode there for a second, but we got back up to 17 satellites here. And I see as soon as we turned around, you know, it's changed the antenna, so it even we were in the red there on the FPV, the first person view. But let's bring it back, and I am full stick forward, and we must be going against the wind this way because we're down to 16 meters per second. So, yeah, we'll just keep bringing it back. Boy, what a beautiful day today, huh? It is a lovely day. I'm going to pick up that camera just a little bit more. 16 meters per second. So we are, you know, when you're this high up and you're over this kind of terrain, it doesn't look like you're going that fast, but I want to remind you, 16 meters per second, that's probably 36 miles an hour or so. Let's get closer to the side here. Give you some more interesting viewing. And yeah, we're down to 32% battery, so we'll see what we get when we're back to the viewpoint here. And we're almost here. So, but when we get back to the viewpoint here, if we have enough battery power, we'll do an orbit. And like I said, I believe when you put it in intelligent flight modes, I believe that it that it will change the video quality down to medium. Yeah, it's wanting to land, so we'll just bring it on back. And I hear the drone. And how? Let's see. We've been recording for about 13 minutes. So there we are, right there. Yeah, I'm not gonna push it. I'd like to do a little orbit here. We'll just do kind of a. Let me take it out of sport mode here, and look at that. We're getting that ADI mode again. It's struggling with satellites. Let's go into normal mode. Maybe. There we go. So we're back in normal mode, and let me. I'm just going to do kind of a manual orbit around here. And I'm hitting that, I'm a little too hard on that yaw stick, but we're moving it around, and I'm watching the drone move in front of us there. I'm telling you, this thing is amazing. I just think for the money, this guy is hard to beat. Hard to beat. Okie dokie. Let's go ahead and let's do a return to home. Let's do it on the app and return to home. And you know what? It's going to go way high, but that's okay. Look at that, and it went back into yeah. I mean, it's struggling with satellites, so that's an issue. But I can tell you, it's a lot of it is this area right here, and it's raising in altitude, or should be. No, let's see. Let's. I'm going to put return to home on the controller. Yeah, it's not taking that command, so I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back manually. I wonder why that is. It can't be a low battery thing. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into settings, and I'm going to go back to that. Yeah, return to home height is back down to 30 meters, so evidently I didn't save it. When I set it up to 100 meters, you have to check that check mark, and I probably didn't do that. I don't know why it's not taking your return to home command. Let's do that again. Return to home. Yeah, okay. Here it comes. Maybe it was. Maybe it was. No, because I don't. Yeah, yeah, it's coming. Okay. That's probably just me. I was probably just not seeing it move, so I probably had it all along. We're down to below 15% battery, so definitely time to land. And let's see, we've been recording for about 16 minutes, so that'll tell you. And let's see, I don't want it to land on my truck, but it's not seeing the landing pad, so we may have to cancel here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hold it. It sees the landing pad, and this is cool. Landing pad detected. So let's see if it'll. And by the way, it's very low on battery. So let's see how it does here. And you're getting a good view of that on the camera. So what I've seen, look, it's on the pad. Hey, that's a win. Okay, let me get everything shut down and we'll do a quick conclusion. Hey, okay, the Fimi X8 SE, we went on a good little flight there, and I think we burned down to under 15% battery, but that's okay. The precision landing was a win, man. It hit that pad. What I've noticed with this drone is it'll find the landing pad and it'll get about a foot off of the pad, and then the air cushion under the props will push it to one side or the other. So, you know, that happens, and I think it kind of did even a little bit here, but still it was all on the pad, so that's a win. Pretty good. You can tell they've improved the processor in this guy. I'm going to say that. It must have a more powerful processor because it hits that pad. Well, you saw what it did just then. And so, yeah, I'm anxious to look at the video off of this guy. We put it in high quality this time. I think that's the first time since I've got this drone that I kicked it into high quality, which what does that mean? It means a higher bit rate, right? There's more information in that video file. So, you know, flight time, maybe a little bit of a disappointment. I don't know, we were in the air about 17 minutes or so. However, what I'm going to add to that is you guys watched the flight. I was at full throttle probably 80% of the time during that flight. So take that into consideration as well. And we were in sport mode for a great deal of it too. So we were chewing up battery pretty fast. And again, I'm going to say it, you know, $439 is what this guy is on Banggood right now. Now the price could change, but you know, between now and when you see this video. However, I'm still saying it's going to be a bargain no matter what. So yeah, I guess that's about it. Enough jibber jabber. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I really appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. The Fimi X8 SE. I'm having a blast with this guy.